I want to share my conviction with you. Because there is a reason I can see and understand things early in this industry. I spent 6 long years in software engineering. I'm a software engineer myself. I have a PhD in computer science and applied mathematics. What I'm about to share is industry changing. This is so freaking huge, you cannot even imagine. How many problems? It solves so many problems for such a large number of people and companies. I will share top 3 reasons why Andy on Blast is a $1 billion meme coin. We will not be talking much about the meme in the first place. We will talk about the ecosystem. We'll talk about Blast. We will talk about this piece of genius technology that's going to overtake the market easily. And it is doing it already. Top 6 total value locked organically with no marketing in the first place. Do you understand what is happening? Do you understand the significance of what I am sharing with you? I don't think you do. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and let's actually start. I will share the tweet first that I posted about a couple of hours ago, and I will explain it to you. I don't think you understand the significance of what I am sharing. This is the only person you should be grateful for Solana meme season. I'm talking about CEO of Godbit, Alex, that I had interview with back in February. Not Ansem, not other Solana shillboys. Without his infrastructure, nothing will be happening on Solana. Solana would be a $7 dead ecosystem now. There would be no Solana meme season without Bonk, and he is behind the success of Bonk. Listen to what he has to say. You have to understand that in order to run market-making operations on a certain chain at scale, you need an infrastructure in place. In order to have infrastructure, you need to build it. In order to build it, you need to have proper reasoning, and you need to invest a bunch of money and a bunch of time with smart people in a team with you. The fact that they actually done this, that Godbit and Alex actually done this, they introduced institutional level of capital into Solana in the first place, which caused Solana meme season. This is the reason why you have all these degens trading, all this dumping on retail, all these JITs, all these 2x's, 3x's, all these stupid coins, all these stupid tickers. This is the only reason. Because infrastructure enabled institutional money to be on Solana chain in the first place. And Alex himself is sharing onto an interview that 30% of volume on meme coins are actually institutional money. And they're doing it through infrastructure like Godbit developed in the first place. Let's watch the fragment of the interview first. It's just going to be the first one. We will be checking out several of them.
First airdrops brought a lot of on-chain liquidity to Solana, and it's easy to compare with Biden checks to US citizens during the COVID. So when this free liquidity comes into ecosystem, usually it stays into ecosystem and just distribute from airdrop hunters to most hyped projects on chain. And Bonk, I think from August till December, was the #1 hype on Solana. That's why they collected a lot of liquidity from airdrops. I think that next chain, which will be famous for meme coins, can become Blast. Actually, Blast.
I want you to understand this perfectly. This is the only person you need to be grateful for Solana meme season in the first place. And I can even tell you that Solana as a token will never get appreciated without the infrastructure that this guy and his teams actually built in Godbit. It will never find its liquidity. There will be no liquidity on chain if these guys would not have developed the infrastructure for the market making, for institutionals being able to come in and rob some retail funds, right? 2 billion plus airdrop in 10 days. I'm talking about Blast. Similar infrastructure implemented on Blast. There are proofs of it running, which is very, very interesting. Why I am saying that Alex and Godbit might have infrastructure, the same that they have on Solana, on Blast, and that it is running already. And there are actually proofs of it currently. Let's check out this fragment.
Go out and let's see if you're now watching it and there are a few famous meme coins on Blast.
Back in February, he was saying that they are market-making meme coins on Blast because they were expecting for the Blast meme season to start at that time. Right now, there are proofs on-chain for advanced software being used for market-making, for transactions on Blast meme coins. at this stage right as we speak. And it's very, very interesting how the playbook is kind of similar to what we have on Solana. I'm kind of front running myself, but he's saying that the success of Bonk was caused by airdrop, was caused by the team, and was caused by them having infrastructure in the first place. The same things that they had back for Solana back in autumn are perfectly rounding up for Blast, and they are focusing on Blast as well. He's market making memes on Blast already. You are simply not ready for what to come. Imagine being exposed to it so early. Let's actually hear what he has to respond to the question of infrastructure on Solana that they had in the first place. Interesting. I heard that you have like one of the strongest infrastructure for Solana on chain trading, right?
It's hard to compare, but I think others just don't have any infrastructure. It's hard to build, and to build it, you need to invest a lot of money and time, and you need to have reasons. We had, because as I mentioned at the beginning, we focus on tier 2 markets, and usually tier 2 projects, they use DEX as a source of liquidity. So as their market makers, we should be ready to manage DEX. So it's important. I think like other market players, they just know how to manage Uniswap on ETH, and maybe on some other EVM chains, but no clue how to work on Solana DEXs. It's really different.
Do you understand what type of alpha you're actually exposed to? This is not like your stupid influencer, oh, like this is so very, very nice coin. This is fundamental fucking technical analysis based on how software and finance is actually being combined in the industry. And I'm telling this to you for free. It's so crazy to be actually exposed into these things. You need infrastructure to be able to market make on DEX. Others did not have infrastructure on Solana. Others right now won't have infrastructure on Blast. These guys, they're front running the whole thing. They're betting on the whole thing. They invested resources to actually developing this in the first place. So they would have it. So they would be able to work in, because they're betting to actually achieve the same success as they achieved on Bonk, on Solana, and a bunch of other Solana meme coins. And the main thing, you might say like it's not that big and things like that. The main thing for these things is ability to be able to onboard institutions into meme coin trading on chain. I would say that this is the main goal of this type of company of Godbit in the first place, to what I am thinking and analyzing from my end, because this is where they will be making money, through onboarding institutions through the software on this chain. The same thing that they've done on Solana, the same thing that they've made a bunch of money on, and they will be making a bunch of money on moving forward. I do also want to reiterate on Bonk's success, because we have to understand what actually kicks off the meme season on a certain chain. We definitely have something to reiterate on, and please make sure to see how I am actually playing this market, how I am basing my thought process on something that was happening before, how I am analyzing these small pieces of alpha that I was exposed to. This interview was recorded in February. I keep coming back to it. I keep understanding new thoughts, and new outcomes just keep popping out of this discussion, because these people, they have so many insights. They understand industry so well. They're pretty much creating the industry. The reason Solana went to $200 this cycle is the effort of this guy and his team. None of your influencers, none of your shit pump and dump Telegram callers had done nothing for it. The only reason is that this guy developed infrastructure, proved infrastructure, made it a success, onboarded a bunch of institutions, and they started to milk the market cycle by cycle on different memes, which allowed for a bunch of scammers and all the guys that we have on the marketplace to enter the same ecosystem. They opened the floodgate. Without this guy, nothing will be happen. Solana would not be reaching $200 this cycle. And right now, he is bullish on Blast. Right now, he's market making for Blast. Right now, he built infrastructure for Blast.
About what happened with Bonk, and why did it pump so high, and which main factors influence the price. So, but briefly speaking, three main factors. Factor number one is crazy good team, top level team. Founder is very smart, and it's like a new generation of smart founders in Web3. Number two, I think it's a few big on-chain airdrops in Solana ecosystem. Gito, PIF, some others later happened when, and Jupiter also already after bond hype. But first airdrops brought a lot of on-chain liquidity to Solana, and it's easy to compare with Biden checks to US citizens during the COVID. So when this free liquidity comes into ecosystem, usually it stays into ecosystem and just distribute from airdrop hunters to most hyped projects on chain. And Bonk, I think from August till December was the number one hype on Solana. That's why they collected a lot of liquidity from airdrops. Yeah, and then also reason number three is Solana designed for on-chain trading and on-chain diligence. So that's why not only Bonk, a few other meme coins made significant results like Myro, like VIF, and others. Yeah.
Smart team and smart founder, airdrops, free liquidity on chain, and chain designed for on-chain activity. To be convenient, to be comfortable for on-chain activity. What if there is a chain that is not only designed for that, but it also actually incentivizes people for on-chain activity? Oh, it's Blast, right? And on top of that, it actually attracts a bunch of whales because it have native risk-free yield. And on top of that, it redistributes fees from Dapps back to developers so they can have revenue streams, so they can develop even more. You're not ready to what I actually have to share. And there is the reason I understand these things. Like, it's so bullish for software engineering. It's industry changing. It's literally changing the fucking industry. What we have here currently, so crazy to see. I don't know. Let's move on. Let's actually hear what the founder of Blast Pacman has to say on transaction fees on the platform.
Is that Blast has 100% of the gas revenue redirected back to the Dapps. So as a builder, if you actually build on Blast and your Dapp gets popular, you can not only monetize off the native yield, but you can also earn gas fee revenue as well. And right now,
not only monetize on native yield, because most of Dapps, they have large treasuries. And for all these protocols, for all these projects, it was an ongoing issue. They have hundreds of millions in the treasuries, and this money, they just sit there. They want to put them in certain protocols and things like that, but protocols over time went bust, certain ones. And even the ones that people were thinking on as the safest one, Luna, Celsius, a bunch of people at the end of the last cycle lost a bunch of money in them. Here we have native risk-free yield. And Pacman actually explains to us why it's risk-free yield in the first place. Because the percentage of yield is 4% for Ethereum and 5% for stablecoin, which is around the United States bonds risk-free yield. I will share his full message on this, explaining the situation as well, with people calling Blast Ponzi. All the protocols, all the gamified projects, they will probably be Ponzis on Blast. But it's not fucking bad in the first place. Best Ponzi will be attracting largest amount of people, largest amount of liquidity on chain. People will be making money on chain. They will be looking to outperform the main token of the chain. They will be farming the shit out of the chain in the first place. You're just not ready for what's going to happen.
Like on Base and these other layer twos, like they're printing money and all that money is just going to the foundation. Whereas in this case, it's like, oh, if you built like the popular Dapp that is like bringing all of those gas fees, you actually get to earn revenue from that. And that's like a completely new unlock that doesn't exist. And the real thing that we oriented around was like the native yield. But the reason why we even built that was because when we thought through how do you develop a layer, from the ground up, we realized that, for us as builders, that's just something that we would like. So then we implemented it. And pretty much every aspect of a layer, if you kind of like think, you can probably recognize that there's like a lot of different things that can be done better, or at least in a way that resonates with, with us as like users and developers better. And so, I think those two things are the primary insights that have led to Blast.
Native yield and fees for the engineers to get distributed for the dApps that they're building on the platform. Let me show you something moving forward. Friend built an application on Blast that earned $380,000 in revenue over 3 weeks. No token, just pure fees. Meanwhile, my enterprise SaaS friends are grinding hard to break 100K annual recurrent revenue of the most boring dry tech imaginable. Like some bullshit SaaS to connect with QuickBooks and help to do your taxes. Like when you work on a software like this, your dick just falls off. Like you can't have sex because it's fucking boring in the first place. Or some insurance bullshit. Study having fun. Like stories like this. You don't understand. Like the amount of stories like this, it will only be increasing over time. This is so fucking industry changing. This is the real fucking Web3 adoption. Not your handsome bullshit on attracting celebrities so they can dump meme coins on stupid degens on Solana. Not knowing that Alex is actually the one who enabled fucking Solana meme season for them. Sucking the dick of Ansem in the first place. Who fucking done nothing. He just decried Godbit and the success of Bonk in the first place, right? This is the adoption of crypto. When someone is circle jerking off 15 years, sucking off VCs, trying to fundraise, seed, Series A, Series B, hiring and firing and trying to fight with churn rates, trying to set up engineering teams, trying to set up outsourcing marketing, things like that. And still there is not enough money. Still the burn rate is higher. Still they have to close the fucking thing after many years of circle jerk off and achieving nothing. Here you can just come in a highly financialized industry where it's alright for people to pay these transaction fees because people have a perception that these transaction fees, they're very low in the first place, where there are a bunch of whales. And like this, you have to understand that these transaction fees, overall, they are way lower than your native yield that you're actually getting on the platform. Native yield will be covering heavily these transaction fees in the first place, and they're distributed back to the developers. This is the fucking adoption of the Web3, not your bullshit that is being fed into your throat by people who don't understand shit or think that they understand shit. But they just don't even understand why their token actually was successful. Because of Alex, because of Godbit. Solana would be a worthless shit without Solana infrastructure and without Godbit onboarding institutions on meme coins and on Solana and providing the 30% volume in trading, which is probably way larger at this stage, right? Gas goes to the developers. Developers are incentivized to create volume, loops, and liquidity. The more volume, the more devs make. 50% of fees claimable immediately. 50% vests over time. The more volume, the more devs make. If you don't see it, I can't help you. I just can't help you. Unique to Blast, developers with smart contracts can integrate the native yield capabilities into the apps. Further, Blast gives the revenue from gas fee back to developers. This enables developers to keep revenue for themselves or use it to subsidize gas fees for users. There are projects on Blast at this stage who are deciding not to take these developers' fees for themselves, but redistribute it back to the users. So for using the chain, like on-chain, you're actually making money. You're getting paid for using Dapps. This is Web3. This is revolution. This is the fucking future. This is where you can build YouTube or Twitter, where people who are very good on writing comments, on providing value to people, making them laugh from comments, because currently in these applications, most dopamine that people are getting actually from comments. This is where you would be able to build something where people who are actually writing these comments and attracting engagement will get paid for it. This is the fucking revolution. This is a new change. This is Web3 adoption. This is what we all were dreaming of for so many fucking years. Democratization. He has done it on Blur first. Right now, he's doing it on Blast. He will be the main star of this cycle. He will fuck everyone over. And the best thing is not a fucking layer 2 pump and dump. They just raised $20 million. They do understand They don't even need fucking marketing money because they don't want to become bitches of VCs in the first place. And at the same time, they just understand the industry very, very well. They understand how to structure and how to set up things in the first place for them to actually make sense. Because like they are using, I can't stop smiling, they are using the main paradigms that Web3 was developed for, like smart contracts, decentralization. They are using it for people, for the ecosystem, for people to actually make money. There are fucking reasons Apple and Amazon are trillion-dollar companies, and Facebook. They are allowing for the participants of the ecosystem to make money in the first place. This is so fucking huge. Imagine you were developing fucking SaaS for 15 years for insurance company. You constantly got fucked in the ass for their C-level. You got fucked in the ass by VCs. You just come on Blast. You develop something for on-chain guys. Even like insurance product, like just decentralized insurance product. You set it up. You have some smart contracts. You start collecting fee. And you are making larger monthly recurring revenue after like 2-3 months after the launch. Because you have a bunch of whales on chain that want to have native yield, that want to put the hundreds of millions of dollars in Ethereum and receive 4% native yield, and on top of that receive airdrop in the form of Blast Gold, that want to put their stable coins and receive 5% native yield and receive airdrops because they're holding things on Blast. Of course they will be using products on chain. Why not? Traders and memes even, they follow liquidity. They need liquidity on chain. This is top 6 total value locked chain currently. This is my prediction. All the layer 2s that you are screaming, all the layer 2s that are currently being fed into your throats, they will all suck ass. They will all die out. Closer to the end of the cycle, Blast will be top 2 blockchain by total value locked. It's already top 6, right after Ethereum, and it will have total value locked, somewhat similar, almost equal to what Ethereum has. This is my fucking prediction. This thing I'm about to share is so freaking bullish. Why are Dapps flocking to Blast so quickly? Aside from the fact that Blast is the only Ethereum layer 2 with native yield for Ethereum and stablecoins, Dapps developers also have the option to programmatically keep gas revenues for themselves or subsidize gas fees for their users. Many Dapps choose to benefit their users, which can further reduce gas fees. I was talking to you about Wolf Game that migrated to Blast, and I have a very, very interesting thing to share that I remember from the previous cycle. So this is the alpha that I am actually able to share because I was here in the last cycle, right? I don't know if you know this guy. He's not very, very active. He was like a star influencer in the last cycle. His videos, they were making hundreds of thousands of views. He was very logical. I think he made a bunch of money on ADA. He made a bunch of money on NFTs as well. You can kind of see 605,000 subscribers at this stage. And I vividly remember in one of his videos in the last cycle, he was saying, follow the developers, follow the development activity. Buy the assets where you see increasing development activity, because these assets over time that will attract price, they will appreciate in value as well. It cannot be more bullish for any type of chain to actually be growing in development activity in the first place. Right now, the net worth of these guys probably in hundreds of millions. He just became buffed. He's going to the gym. He's not making a lot of videos at this stage. Last one months ago and the previous one 3 months ago. Because he fucking made it. Because his logic fucking works. Do you understand the setup of the chain that attracts whales because they receive native yield and they incentivize to hold things on chain, and attract developers because 100% of fees actually being redistributed back to developers. Engineers, they love to have some beer on Fridays, like, and they like to brag to each other. Oh, like, I just became a team lead, or I just got a raise like $800 to my salary. Oh, I just went into this new company. Imagine engineers spending their Friday evening in the bar and one of them saying like, oh, I just developed this application on Blast and I just collected 20K of fees in last 3 weeks. It's a network effect, but it's the best network effect. It's not the network effect for your fucking brokies and fans of celebrities to go in and buy some coins by false fucking influencers that don't understand shit. They don't even understand why the ecosystem went up in the first place, right? This is the proper network effect of engineers who will attract all the other people into the ecosystem. Like I'm seriously considering developing something on Blast currently. I'm seriously considering that because you have to understand, I was always thinking, like, if I would want to build a product in Web3, I want to have a native source of revenue because I don't want to turn the product into the Ponzi. I don't want to have Ponzinomics. I want to have tokenomics. And the only way to actually not have Ponzinomics is to have real revenue and kind of add real revenue source into your tokenomics. So your tokenomics will partially be based on real revenue source. This way you would actually be able not to create a Ponzi in the first place. And Blast is something that allows for it because it has two real revenue sources, which you cannot, like, you don't even need to think about them. They're provided to you right away. How fucking smart this is. And you also have to understand that it's a new technology. It only was available with one of the latest Ethereum update. It was not available before. It's a new technology that they're building here. You have native yield, you have fees, you have two real revenue sources. You can finally turn fucking Ponzinomics into tokenomics. Like, I'm smiling because this is something I wanted to have since 2018. This is something that, man, like, I just want to cry. It's dream coming true. So crazy. Here is Pacman sharing his opinion on the fact that Blast is called a Ponzi, right? There is a meme going around that Blast is Ponzi. The yield that Blast provides users can feel too good to be true, so this meme is understandable. But to put it simply, the yield Blast provides comes initially from Lido and MakerDAO. Lido yield comes from Ethereum staking yield, which is part of Ethereum's proof of stake consensus mechanism. This is how the fucking blockchain is developed, is operating currently, right? Yield for Ethereum in this case is coming from Ethereum itself. MakersDAO yield comes from on-chain T-bills. T-bills are debt obligations from the US government. That's why I'm saying, even before I knew this setup, I was saying you in one of the first videos on Blast that this is risk-free US yield. This is not 20% from Luna, right? And following the fact that it's risk-free US yield, we now figure out that it actually is basing on T-bills and it bases on US economy in the first place, which fucking makes sense. They are central to how the US economy works. These yields are not unsustainable. They are a core component of the on-chain and off-chain economy. The reason the yield feels too good to be true in Blast is because Blast makes this yield the default for everyone. It gives users yield that was hiding in plain sight, in effect democratizing higher yield. What is the narrative for base chain? Narrative for base chain is normies will come and we will dump on them. What is the fucking satanic shit is this in the first place? How you can breathe on this fucking planet when this is your narrative, this is your setup. Normies will get onboarded and we will dump on them. This is just evil. This is from devil in the first place. This is fucking satanic. This system is built to incentivize each and every participant. The reason it actually can do that is through democratization. Democratization is possible because there is decentralization. It is using proper principles of decentralization to actually allow this. This is a fucking innovation in the first place. Democratized on-chain yield for everyone. Translation equals enormous amount of on-chain liquidity equals you hold anything, you get yield and get incentives. Right now, people are not getting incentives for holding other assets, such as Ethereum or stablecoins on Blast. But it should be changing with the Blast airdrop season 2 and Blast airdrop season 3. They have the focus on meme coins. So if you're buying memes on Blast currently, in 10 days before the airdrop, you have to understand that they are artificially suppressed right now. Their price is artificially suppressed, which means this is the fucking time to buy them. Because this suppression should get lifted away. In projections that it will get lifted away with the announcement of season 2 of Blast airdrop, which will be announced right after first airdrop on Blast. Even without it, it looks too fucking good in the first place. Imagine, like, they will definitely have it. Because one more time, they do understand very, very well the easiest way to attract new on-chain users on-chain is to create a proper meme season in the first place. This is the cheapest user acquisition that you can only have in the whole Web3 and overall, like even in Web2 type of businesses. And imagine a new user come and trade memes on-chain on Blast, buying something or holding something or trading and achieving certain trading volume or holding certain amount of memes, and then he suddenly gets an airdrop just for holding, or he's incentivized by one of the meme projects that is redistributing transaction fees back to the holders. They are not deciding to hold them, to take them by themselves. Who is he going to be loyal to? Where he will be? Will he come back to fucking Solana with influencers not fucking understanding why the fucking chain went up in the first place? Ungrateful to the guy and to the team that allowed them to actually rob people on Solana? And with all of this, we're coming to the daily chart of Andy on Blast. Why Andy on Blast? We have some other memes on chain. We have some things happening there, right? The main reason for that is because it's yellow mascot of the yellow chain. The main reason is because it's original character from Mad Fury Boys Club. The main reason is because it actually follows Pepe narrative. And Pepe should be the largest meme of this cycle. If this thing won't obviously flip it over time, right? None of the Blast memes has a narrative outside of the chain. They have interesting narratives for like on-chain things like Pacman, which is like kind of this wordplay with Pacman. You have Mia, who is the founder dog, right? But Andy is inside the chain, very, very good. And outside as well. It's very, very, like, it's just crazy narrative for the meme token in the first place. Should be flipping in all of them. Should be in billions in the first place. Just following Brett. Just following Pepe, right? It's just so crazy. This is the daily chart. I know you understand charts to a certain extent. Let me know what you actually see here. There is no such fucking things as triple top. Let me know what do you see on this chart. Let me know what is this pattern actually is. I can actually show you this pattern on Tesla chart, right? Right here, you see, surging up. I can show you this pattern on US oil chart, right here, surging up after it. I can show you this pattern on BTC chart, right here, back in October of 2021, surging up right after it. I can show you this pattern on Ethereum chart, right here, in January 2024. This pattern surging up. I can show you this pattern on Cardano chart if you want to check out the pattern on Cardano chart in the first place. Right here, same pattern, surging up. Do you understand what is happening? Do you understand how bullish this setup is in the first place? Meme coins are the main narrative of this cycle. This product that you exposed to, and I explained it to you perfectly because the reason, one more time, the reason I understand these things is because I spent 4 years learning in the industry. I spent several years working as a software engineer, and I spent 6 years building my international custom software development company that works with governments, that works with largest centralized exchanges in Web3. This is the reason I understand these things in the first place. And I am explaining them to you. I have connections to Alex, to Godbit, and that's why I was able to present this interview to you, and that's why I'm able to present this information to you. Do you understand like what's actually happening? Top 3 reasons for Andy on Blast to be in billions. Not only layer 2 raise, layer 1 raise as well this cycle, 100%. Pepe narrative and setup from the market maker who enabled Solana meme season. Exactly the same fucking setup. Same market maker doing same things on chain, market making, Blast memes, airdrops as the catalysts. Smart fucking team from both ends. From the end of the meme, from the end of Blast as well. This is a leverage bet on the winner. I believe this is a leverage bet on the winner of this cycle. So crazy to understand these things so early. Thank you for watching this video. I will be seeing you tomorrow. Bye bye.